right. So, how builders break work into AI steps? Because in the end, if you want to start a company, it's going to be really, really tough. There are many things you need to consider, such as your logo, your content, your product, your price offering, basically everything, right? So, the main goal of this is basically to understand how to cut everything into small pieces so you can pick it up and you can do it yourself super easily. So why big tasks feel with AI? So a lot of people say just create content for my business, but what is the distribution? Who writes it? What is the editing, branding, psychology, strategy? Just so many things when it comes to creating content. So this is not one task. It's a pile of different jobs, right? From outcome thinking to move thinking, right? So you need to change the perspective a little bit. Don't always focus on the end result, focus on the different steps to actually get to the final product or the output that you want. Because in the end, if you just focus on the end result will be very minimal. And in the end, you want to have like a very, very well orchestrated output, which you control everything till in the small details, right? So outcome thinking is a little bit like build a brand, create content, launch a product. But if you think in different moves, you decide the audience, you name the problem, you pick an angle, you come up with a draft, and finally you refine it. So there are different steps to actually say the same. And in the end, the output will be much, much better. So what a move actually is, I call it move because it keeps you moving. It's like action. It's takes you in the right direction, right? So a move is one decision at a time. You move one small piece at a time. It's one transformational thing that you do in one output instead of like directly focusing on the final product. Well, the first step that you need to do, you need to break your work like a builder, meaning that you need to cut it into small pieces which you can execute and actually focus on as well. So create content for my business, right? So the first scope is who is it for? What problem really matters? So you can do a lot of research about this. You can find out what is your best target audience, what is the problem that you want to address. Then you want to transform it, right? So you get raw ideas, you change it into structured ideas. You have structured ideas and you create those into drafts. And the last thing is you do packaging, right? So after the drafts, you make it ready, you finalize it, you iterate it until perfection for you. So the same task, just builder breakdown, right? Choose one audience, choose one pain or problem, generate possible angles, select your strongest angle, draft the content, and then edit for clarity and package for use, right? Easy peasy. So the best uses of AI, right? So listening. So AI is super strong at if you have a problem or things that you want to do. AI is your soulmate, right? If you want to restructure a lot of complex thing, right? So let's say like I want to start a business for the the wellness industry where I focus on mental clarity for people who are suffering from emotional pain, break down the steps to start this business, right? So for structuring, so what it does, it actually structure your work so you know the different steps that you have to do. It can compare. So if you want to make comparison, what is better, or let's say like, hey, this country has how many people and how many of those people are happy, you can list all the countries. But in the end, keep in mind it's all up to you as well because you are the one, you're still a human, and human is better in judgment, right? So you choose what is better and use always your own brain. And every person has a different taste, a different style, a different feeling, and it's very hard to do that with AI. So over here, right, you can see like beautiful. So step one, define your niche and mission, validate your idea, define your business model, do your brand building, legal setup, develop your core offering, building your digital presence, marketing, lead generation, monetization, and pricing. Step five, iterate and scale. Right, so you have a really good way of breaking down and structure everything into something. Keep in mind, this is just AI as an assisting tool. In the end, you still have to put in the hard work, right? So AI produces parts, builder assemble. So basically you focus on all these different small parts, right? Part one can be, for example, the define your niche, right? So you're gonna be busy. You're gonna dive a little bit deeper into this to really find out what is your niche, what is your target audience, and really do some research for it, right? The next step is, for example, validate your idea. You came up with an idea based on the problem statement, right? It's another part. Then you build your company, your brand, and all these things together are part of a larger system, right? So I want to give an example for content, right? Define the audience wants, define the core problems, reuse those, generate ideas, draft selectively, and package those in batches, right? One step. Another step is animation, right? Decide first the message, then the emotion that you want to carry over with the animation. Write a short narrative about how the animation actually is and what's the story behind it. And you can split it into different scenes, right? Every scene contribute to that larger narrative, that message that you want to illustrate, and also the emotion that you want to carry with it, right? And then define all the motions per scene, generate visuals, and then actually animate. So as you can see, this has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different steps. Whereas if you just say like, hey, I want to have an animation, it's not going to work, right? So split it up into different tasks and then execute on that to get the best results, right? So if you notice that you need to keep on reprompting, that your output feels super random and it's not relating to anything you say, then it just shows that you're failing, right? So then that's the part that you go back, right, and as for clarification and define it a little bit more better with your prompting, then dive a little bit deeper, right? So let's say like, hey, define your niche and mission, right? We're saying burnout moms, entrepreneurs, right? So let's say this one, right? For me, it's unclear why this has to be focused on moms or burnout entrepreneurs. Can you elaborate? So what I'm doing right now is a little bit unclear, but I just want to know why, right? So I just ask some more questions. I go more into deep, and then I ask, for example, based on all the audiences that you provided, can you make me a table with an overview, which is least competition, highest links, most prone to use my product, right? So I dive a little bit deeper and deeper to get some more clarification, right? High competition students with academic stress, low competition, but they don't have any money, right? People going through life transitions, breakup, relocation, job loss, medium to low. This one seems very good. People with high functioning and anxiety, low competition, high spending, extremely likely that they will take action because they're at the point to take action. They want to change their life. Less direct competitors, raising awareness. Can you make me a top 3? Right. Best overall audience to start with. People with high functional and anxiety. It already says here high ROI, entrepreneurs, founders. Underserved niche with growth potential, people in life transition. Right. So this one, people with high. Okay. So I now have a lot more information. Can you find more statistical research about all of these target audiences? I want to make sure it applies to the US, right? Because in the end, it might be very effective in other countries, but not in the US. So right now it dives a little bit deeper, right? And this is what I mean with if everything is too generic, it's not good. You cannot use it. So you want to dive a little bit deeper. So you take one step at a time, right? So you go back and define it better, and then you can go on to create other stuff, right? Mental health spendings. So here, entrepreneurs have so much more money. You can see 31 million. This is actually a quite good audience, right? So many have an anxiety. Oh God, not good. Even more high. All right, I said 1 and 2 is pretty good. 2, they are lower end, so I would not focus on it. So I will focus on these. All right. So basically, I taught you how to cut down all your tasks into different steps. But what you actually do is you go for all these individual steps. You just prompt and you find all the right things you want to know. Next step is write it down. Use like a Google Docs or anything to write it down, and then in the end combine all the information, then throw it again into ChatGPT, and there you have it. You have a beautiful business with clear steps that you need to do and actions that you need to take, which can be very, very good, right? Keep in mind, this is only the service level. Right now it's typed, but you still have to do in the hard work, right? You have to create a product, you have to do the sales or marketing. From there on, it can snowball. So, daily practice, take one real test today, break it into moves, let AI handle one move at a time. There we go. Are you ready?